then to identifying the customer mood. The first thing we need to do is to actually recognize the tells that the customers are giving out to us through their behaviors, through their actions, their words, their vocal qualities, their body language. Carl Jung actually said we leak the truth from every pore. And when we know what to look for, then we can identify quite easily, actually, the customer moods. Within a few kind of 1-2 kind of seconds even, we can get to actually get a feel for what mood the customer is in, if we know what to look for. So identifying the tells, it isn't difficult. In fact, our senses are constantly taking in information. Our brains take in and process approximately 11 million bits of information per second. And it's just that if we're not aware of this information and the fact of how much information is being pulled in through our senses and the processing of it, and if we don't have a behavioural framework to then match that information that we're receiving to, then it makes it harder for that vital information, customer clues to be picked up on by our brain. So obviously the list of tells that's on screen there is not exhaustive by any means. And when we're delivering this in a workshop, then we get learners to actually think about their own customers, specific situations, and obviously we take a lot longer to do this, because it's about them identifying specific actions and specific behaviours, specific words in certain situations or types of interactions. So for many years, we've delivered this framework in libraries and museums and hospitals. And in each of those cases, the learners have identified the tells that they observed with their customers in their organisations. So, for example, I'll give you an example from a library, for example. One of the things, behaviours that you can notice when you know what to look for is customers who appear to be hovering. They'll hover around a notice board, for example, or they'll hover around a bookshelf. Now, it's not that they're looking at the notice board or looking at the books because they've hovered for a little bit too long to be doing that. Now, when we notice a customer in a library doing something like that, that automatically gives us some clues. And what we kind of know is that the customer that tends to be hovering is either waiting for an opportune moment, or what they perceive to be the opportune moment, to actually approach a member of staff, or they're possibly watching somebody else from a distance, perhaps operating, for example, a self-service machine in the library. We used to get that a lot when we were working with libraries introducing self-serve machines, for example. Then the self-serve machines, there was usually a notice board not too far away, just by coincidence. And we would see customers taking an unusual amount of interest in the notice board. However, when we actually looked at it closely, what we noticed was they weren't really reading the notices. They were watching other people actually how to use the machine. But these all give us tells, clues, as to the behavioural mood of the customer. And that then helps us to actually adjust our service delivery accordingly.